We live. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hey everybody, what's going on? Ryan here, Apex Performance. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It's Monday today. It's the morning. Just woken up. Got my morning coffee here. Thought we'd smash out the podcast this morning before going into the training program, which I'll mention in a little bit. Yeah, was supposed to do it yesterday, but I thought the Canon camera that I've got here that's plugged into the computer, it could just be powered by the USB power, but obviously not. So I put that on charge because I'll do a double whammy video today. I'll do this, and then I'll do the strength program that we'll be going through. I'll be discussing that a little bit later in the podcast. But yeah, pretty good. Just thought we'd better crack it out this morning. I'll do this, probably have something to eat, and then head to the gym. So what's going on, everybody? I hope, again, yeah, you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Spent a little bit of time in the garden again. The plum tree is coming along really cool. As you can see, it's something a little bit different this time. Usually it's just audio, but we're trying something on StreamYard. I heard about StreamYard, and I thought I'd give it a little bit of a play with. It has a recording feature, which at this stage is pretty good. I'm mucking around with OBS. But I'll show you this plum tree that we've got going on, where we will click that, and then we'll go stop share. I was mucking around with it just before, but we've got a really cool plum tree in the backyard. Where we at here? I shared it up on our Instagram. Let's see how that works. As you can see here, it's quite cool. It's starting to bloom a bit. I had a look outside this morning, heaps more flowers. So I took that picture the other day over on our Instagram. You can go check that out at Apex Performance, all one word. Should be able to find us. We've got the little mountain logo there. So it's quite cool to see that. That's kind of a progress photo of like a couple of weeks. The branches started to come out. There was some budding on the ends, and then within the last couple of days, it started to bloom with the flowers. A lot more flowers on there now. So that's quite cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Spent a little bit more time in the vegetable garden. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last podcast, but we had planted some radishes, zucchinis, cauliflower, broccoli. What else? Oh, and I planted some chilies as well because I want to muck around with a bit of chili, bit of hot food over summer. And the radishes are really good for salads during the time of the year. So it's coming up to summer for us here in New Zealand. So if you're overseas, really pumped. So you're going to probably see some summer food or some summer activities, a lot of sunshine. Probably make you guys feel a little bit jealous being over in winter. For those of you that experience snow, I guess. But the veggies are coming along real cool, keeping it really plain and simple in the vegetable garden. So I've planted them in little seedlings, so they're going to sprout, and then we'll put them into the garden. So in the meantime, what I'm doing is I'm kind of putting scraps and compost and nutrients into the soil and just turning that over. I don't really need to water it or add some water to it because it's raining enough over spring. So when the little seedlings start to sprout out of their little planters that they're in at the moment, we'll split them and put them into the garden, and hopefully we get a good haul once they're all grown. And you got your staple veggies there like broccoli and cauliflower. You can't go wrong. When there's a nutrition section to the 5x5, and I want to kind of just go over some really like straightforward basics, things if you're like, I don't know, you live by yourself or you're flatting, and you just kind of want to meet your intake for calories, but also want to keep it very simple. You don't want to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen. Maybe you're out socializing in that. So we'll go over that in the nutrition, but food's pretty simple. When you got broccoli, cauliflower there, it's pretty good. So other than that, no, just doing the edging. Spring's here, so trying to make the the outdoor area look a bit more alive, a little bit more tidy from the experience over in winter. The only downside I did have since the last week was I brought this Robert Harris coffee from the supermarket. Now, I like my coffee black, just straightforward, just black, and I like a strong coffee as well. And I was in the coffee section having to buy some new plunger coffee, and I seen this Kentucky bourbon flavored one, and I thought, like, my mind was just like, no, this is not going to taste good. It's not going to be what you want. But the other part of me was like, hey, let's see how close they can get this thing to Kentucky bourbon, because it's never really close, is it? Like, you go by that sauce that it says that it's infused with bourbon, it's not that close. You can still taste the classic sauce taste, whether it's barbecue sauce or whatnot. So I really wanted to see how close they could get it to, and yeah, it was pretty disappointing. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I tried to put a dent in it. I couldn't get through it, and I had been putting, because I used plunger coffee. I was putting like the grinds and whatever's left over into the garden, and I wouldn't even put this stuff in it. Like it was that bad. I wouldn't recommend it at all. So that was kind of like my downside. I ended up getting this better coffee. I like trying new things when I'm at the supermarket. I'll just grab it. It's kind of get me a pick me up and go, rather than. I feel like a lot of coffee you can go buy from baristas is like abused in some way. So you don't really get a nice coffee taste. It's better it's just more affordable. Just to smash out a little plunger coffee. Depends on where you get your coffee from, but everything's getting pretty bog standard. So just experimenting, you can kind of get the different tastes, but it's just one way to cut costs. Instead of spending $5 on a coffee every day, it's good going out and buying a coffee, because you get to meet, especially if it's a coffee cart, you can meet local businesses and have a chat to them, and they might know a bit of word on the street. But if you just need to get me up and go, man, there's nothing wrong with a plunger coffee, but just not the Kentucky bourbon one. So yeah, other than that, mixing a little bit of music, practicing like with the Pioneer DDJ, just a little bit of a hobby, something I like to do on my downtime. I really like music, so I like playing around with that. So that's been quite good as well. And training's been good. We have been doing the new program that we'll be going into in the next video that I'll be doing. That will go up on the YouTube. This will go on YouTube. This will go up on the Podbean and how that distributes that. But we'll also put this other one up on YouTube. And that basically, it's a very straightforward program. It's a very simple program. I've done it before in the past. I've incorporated elements of that into my own workout programs that I feel have always brought me results. And it's kind of wanting to go back to basics. I'm putting out content at the moment, so I was thinking, what's a very easy way we can demonstrate exercise and how to get results, and incorporating principles that work. So I went with the Strong Lift 5x5. Very simple, very easy. I've been doing that for the last week. And it really gets you back down to basics. It's good for beginners, people starting to work out the gym, resistance training, interested in kind of wanting to build a bit more muscle and strength. Maybe don't have a lot of time, commitments, maybe they're studying, but want to stay in shape. Like, it covers it's very suitable for a wide range of people. If it's a student, maybe it's someone that's working full time, maybe doing something on the side, still wants to work out, still wants to stay fit. Say someone on the road. Most of your orthodox, run-of-the-mill gyms, your Snap Fitness, etc., 24/7 fitness, particularly the ones that are right around the country or whatever country you're in. They're going to have a power rack in there, and they're going to have a bench. And if they don't have like a bench for benching, you've got just the normal benches you can adjust, wheel that into the power rack, and there you go. You've got your bench sorted. So it's available for everyone. It's anyone that's kind of like, hey, I don't have a lot of time. I don't want to be focusing on tons on my nutrition and tons on what exercises I'm doing and having to add a new exercise in, or they just want a simple workout that delivers results that it says it's going to deliver. And it's very easy to progress in it, and it's also very easy to understand. So even if you write your notes down, once you start applying the principles early on, or the way you go about it, the steps in the program, you're not going to need a bit of paper or anything. You're going to remember off the top of your head. It's good to kind of write your progress down, so the weights that you are moving. I know I've mentioned that in the podcast. We should do a video about that and why you need to do that. So we'll go into that probably during this process as well. It's just a very straightforward exercise for anybody, men or women, who want to build strength, add a bit of muscle, and probably lose a bit of fat. It's not a fat loss exercise program. Don't expect you're going to lose tons of weight. But if you're someone that is overweight, or has a little bit extra on you, you're probably going to notice a bit of weight loss here. But by no means is it a weight loss program. Particularly for the smaller guys, particularly for guys like myself, you're going to have to start eating. You're just going to have to put more calories in your body. Early on you might be all right, but as you progress through the program, you're going to start wanting to load up on calories, and good calories as well. And so that's kind of why we want to do that video there as well. And form is a big one as well. And I'll probably go into a lot of reasons why we're doing this program in the video, but I thought it'd be quite good to cover them now for those that listen to the podcast. So we're getting back to basics and resistance training, compound lifts, following correct form. One thing I see a lot in the gym, and they look like a lot of new guys, is that their form on things like squat and deadlift and bench even sometimes, and bent over row, is that it's all about for them like trying to move as much weight as possible, but their whole form is like completely off. There's guys doing like quarter squats and not even half squats, and it's kind of like a waste of time because you're not getting that full contraction, and you're not going to get the development that you want. So it's again getting back to basics. We started on a lighter weight, meaning you can focus more on controlling the weight, your form. In a squat, where your hips are moving to, is your chest out, is your feet in the correct position, and how far can you get down, on the bench as well, controlling the bar. It's not about bouncing that bar off your chest, and maybe even looking at your like hand placement, overhead press, as well, and deadlift form. So there's a lot of form there, and it's very, very basic to master early on, and your progression is incremental. I know for myself, starting on lighter weights wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be. It doesn't feel like a kick in the guts, but it feels like, okay, I'm starting from here. It's quite good because your workouts go a lot quicker, but I still again stay to the break times because I want to familiarize myself with how long I'll be doing each workout. So when we do get into the heavier weights, because you do add a lot of weight in the future as it progresses, you do want to be able to have those breaks. You do want to be able to recharge the muscles, let the energy get back in there so you can perform the exercise again. So there's a little bit of changes for those of you who are a little bit more intermediate, who are used to going balls against the walls at the gym, because a lot of us do. I know I do myself, but as over time of you start reading that, hey, maybe you're not going to get the best results from wearing yourself out like that at the gym. Maybe more advanced lifters probably, but you want to be able to, over a long period of time, you want to be able to attack that more often than attacking it really hard and then having to take a break. So it incorporates a lot of rest. You get about 4 days off in the program, so it's quite good. And as I mentioned, we'll go through like nutrition in another video, like recovery. We'll go through like dead loading, and alternative exercises, and then also whether or not you should be doing cardio. For one thing I want to mention before I carry on about like my experience, I'll give you like what I'm weighing at the moment. I was planning on giving you guys some numbers, like some measurements, but my measuring tape and a whole bunch of other gear that I've ordered, it was supposed to be delivered today, and then because I put my business name on it, they didn't see like a logo or anything outside about the property. So yeah, I'm still waiting for that to be delivered, but we'll add some measurements hopefully by the next podcast. I'll do it on a Sunday, do the measurements, and then that way, I've had my 2 days off and I'm not pumped or anything like that. We'll get some very accurate measurements. Yeah. So what was I going to say? Oh yes. The good thing about like for intermediate lifters and advanced lifters is that we can, one of the cool things I find about this program is that there's things that you may unconsciously do that you've created a habit out of, while you were lifting. And one of those things is like, your form, you may find yourself using other parts of your body to compensate for the opposite side, left and right, etc. So going back to basics and form really gives you a chance to kind of even all that out and make sure you're not developing those little shortcuts that actually like detriment our progress or actually even could potentially like lead to injury. So yeah, we'll talk about a little bit about my experience this week. Oh, I've still got my picture up here. Just pretend talking about the program. Hang on. Should we remove this? My cool little plum tree there, and we'll go stop screen share, and then we'll screen share, and then we'll go here. It's pretty straightforward, really. Application. Here we go. 5x5. So before we get into my experience, then I forgot to share this. It's going to be like in a presentation kind of format. So that way we can go through, people can write their notes, they can go back to slides. I'll put some timestamps there if they want to listen through first and then maybe go to certain sections, write notes down. Again, it's very simple. It's not my program. It's been around. There's tons of people that have done it. And again, wanted to get something back down to basics. So we'll go through there. There's a few slides through there. We'll go through the exercises, what you'll need to do. And also what I'll do is add some links to exercise form. There's tons of those videos out there. I was contemplating before putting this out on whether or not I should do some form videos. But there's so many out there. I'd be lost out there with it. So at some stage I may end up doing that just to be able to put on the website if people want to go there and then they know, about different form, how to complete the exercise with correct form. But at this stage, there's tons. If you search off how to do a squat, you'd probably get 100,000 videos. Like it's ridiculous. So it's just probably not, not good use of my time at this stage on performing like all these exercises and recording them and editing them and putting lines and etc. Tons of great videos out there as well. So yeah, support the people that have probably already got them out there. So yeah, we'll be going through this and we'll be doing probably it on StreamYard as well. We'll put this through on StreamYard, probably like make it a little bit bigger like that, or have my head up in the corner, etc. We'll have a little play around with StreamYard and see what I can do. I'm using the free version, so maybe I'm limited to my features. So we'll be going through that program there. So I should have actually did a little slide for like my thoughts. Actually, we'll do that a bit next time because I'll give you my updates and hopefully what I'm really hoping to do with this is because I'm going to be sharing this to a few communities as well and putting it online. Is that if you are interested in doing it, if you want to start, we're hoping to do maybe on a Saturday or Sunday or even on a Monday. So it might be a yeah, we'll sort out a day where, people that are doing it, even if it's like a group chat or whatever, you guys can talk about it. If you have any questions, any frustrations, particularly like the guys starting out, if you want in a program and you want that little bit of extra support while doing it, I'm doing this for the next 12 weeks. Maybe I set up a little Discord channel. You can download it on your PC and your phone, jump in the chat. But yeah, so we'll be doing it in a little bit of a slide feature in the future, especially for like my thoughts. So I weighed in at 72.3 kilos. So I kind of thought that was about right, around 70, low 70s. Again, waiting for my measuring devices to give some measurements. I'm also getting like a blood pressure like monitor in that, so that should be quite cool. I'll see what I can figure out, what I can do with that. I don't really want to be taking it to the gym, do my workout and then like check my heart rate and that. But I've also got the finger one that checks your like BPM and that. I might be able to take that, but I might muck around a little bit with the blood pressure device. So yeah, measurements we're waiting. So first up, doing a lot of weights. I know I mentioned it previously, but particularly for, well, anyone, particularly guys, because we obviously want to look strong, obviously want to be tough. So this whole going down a lot of weights can mess with your head. You know, for a while, like I was loading, weights onto the rack, and then you come down to your like half, your 5 RM. It can be a little bit of a killer, but again, what you focus on is mind muscle connection is what I found to be the most benefit. To like stop worrying about how much weights I'm moving and how long it will take me to get back up there, because it will get up there quickly. You do squats like 3 times a week. So again, focusing on mind muscle memory, and then like form, just feeling what the body feels like, where your body's, for me, I'm doing a squat. When I'm thinking about my squat, like I'm thinking the weight on my body and it traveling through, through my torso and then down my legs, and then I want to make sure I'm feeling a bit of weight in the heels. I'm trying to build a mind muscle connection. I'm trying to understand what the body's supposed to feel like, and then when we do the actual exercise, again, it's feeling the contractions, knowing what muscles that you're working, and I just think about those. I think about things like, is my chest forward? Is my ass out? Have I gone below parallel? Am I feeling my quads? Am I feeling my ass? And then when I get up, it's again squeezing those butt cheeks in, just doing it properly and focusing on how to perform it, like say, for example, the squat properly, or the bench properly, or the overhead press properly, correctly. Sorry, not properly, but correctly, and not worrying too much on the weight. Workout sessions are shorter than usual. But as I mentioned, I'm sticking to the rest times. And again, that's for me to get used to, that 1 minute 30 break in between each set, or the 3 minute break if it was a little bit harder, or that 5 minute break if it was a fail. No fails. No, it was too hard yet. The only real kind of one that I've been mainly focusing on, with just keeping a bit of stretching and that in the beginning, and not so much between the sets, but just prior to the set, and just maybe keeping some movement, is the shoulder and the tricep. In my previous podcast, I've mentioned that it has been a little bit of an issue. It feels like it's getting better, but I think that's a really good thing for me, because I know the last time I was focusing on strength, I was up about low 60s, like maybe 62 for an overhead press. So 62 kgs. Then I kind of went away from strength training for a while and was doing other things. So coming back, and like for myself, I've started on the bar. I didn't like split my max from like 6 months ago. I kind of split. I kind of started where I felt like I was capable of at the moment, and to use that progressive overload to see how strong, how well the balance is on, both arms for the overhead press, and then also for the bench. Some of the heavier bench I did before this program, I didn't really have that much trouble. Again, I really don't think this is an injury. I think it's just how I've been using it, maybe how I'm leaning on it. But if it starts to get a little bit more worse, I'm going to go back and get it checked out. So yeah, keeping those rest times, especially for this arm, and not getting too ego. Like you don't want to get too ego with this. You go down to those lower weights, and you got to keep that ego in check. I could think, well, 50%. I could have said, oh well, 50% of like what I used to do on overhead press was like 62, so I might as well just start on 30. It's like, no, we'll start a little bit lighter. Like we're just starting on the bar, so that's 20 kgs. And then just progressively working our way up. 2.5 kgs every time we do the exercise. It's quite good. And it's not 2.5 kgs every time you do the each set. That's kind of like when you get onto the exercise in your next rotation. Current goal, I guess, is to build strength and to determine where my strength level was at. I still want to build a bit of muscle, being out of the gym for so long, been doing a lot of cardio. I had been in the gym, but really want to, this program for the next 12 weeks, sticking to something that is about consistent progress and seeing where your body's at. it's a pretty good it's a pretty good way to determine where your body is really, where it's at strength wise, where it's at muscle wise. Is my goal to build like a whole bunch of add a lot more muscle to my body? Yeah, it'd be nice, but I think that's a combination of like how much muscle my body can build, per month. I think, what do they say, like 2 pounds of muscle a month or something like that. Again, that's going to depend on how much calories I eat. Yeah, and what my body is limited to. You can't jump into these programs and think you're going to be like ginormous overnight. See, there's a lot of big guys at the gym. Especially you lads, like see a lot of these big guys at the gym, and it doesn't happen overnight. There's some people that do blow up for whatever reason, I don't know, but yeah, a lot of guys, they've spent a lot of time, and like years, like 10, 12, 15 years doing this. So again, it's not an overnight thing. So respect the process, understand the process. And I think like a workout like this helps you respect the process a lot, because you are starting a lot lower on weights. But other than that, it's been pretty good. And look, it's coming about time. We're at 26 minutes. I'm enjoying the program. It's nice getting back to basics. I really think if I was to recommend this for someone, again, if you're on the road, you're like one of those, you're a sales rep or something. You're on the road. There's a chain gym that you see in most towns you go to. This would be great for you. You don't have to worry. You could probably still keep eating the way you're eating. If you're drinking a lot of crap, yeah, maybe want to cut that shit out. That's one thing. I think that it's the sneaky on like a lot of our diets is like the stuff we consume. Like how much water do we drink, and what do we consume when we're not consuming water? There's the energy drinks, there's the Coca-Cola, there's the beer, a lot of those things. So yeah, someone that's out on the road, someone who's really just wanted to build some muscle. Scrawny dudes. I was a bit of a scrawny dude when I first started the gym. These exercises sucked at first. Absolutely hated them. Hated squat. I didn't feel like I could do it properly. Hated deadlift. Felt like I couldn't do it properly. Yeah. Now I love them. Now, like when you get to do them, you're pumped. You feel great afterwards. And there's like, again, like you can just keep listing examples. Women who are trying to build a bit of strength. I know for women, it's quite hard to build that upper body strength. So yeah, you may seem like you're doing a bit of upper body with the bench press, but your chest is not going to blow out and be like Arnold Schwarzenegger's. Like you're not going to get a massive like chest or shoulders, or if you want to stay feminine. Well, these like masculine features don't just appear overnight. So again, it's just great for everybody, and that's why I'm doing it. I want to get back to where I want to be, and I want to kind of take everyone through it, and then just have that record there. So then, if someone stumbles upon it, someone's like, "Hey, what's an easy way to build muscle?" They can find something. Likes of yourselves that may ask questions during this experience. That may help other people along the way. So, if you do have any questions about the program, or if you do have any health or fitness related questions, please chuck that in the comment section below. Or if there's maybe topics you would like me to discuss. At the moment, I've been doing a lot of reading on CBD and how it can help with the body, particularly with exercise. A lot I'm learning there. Still not a lot of research done on it, so it's exciting. And I think times are changing as well. New Zealand is voting on recreational use of cannabis. While CBD isn't psychoactive, I think maybe a vote like this can maybe take some of the stigma away from CBD. And hopefully we can get a bit more research into it, because it seems to be providing some benefits somewhere. I don't think it's a miracle chemical that's going to save the whole planet, but it certainly helps a lot of individuals, no matter what their reason for use. So doing a bit of research on that, and yeah, it's just ticking along. So I'll probably grab something to eat, maybe go to the gym, and then I'll come back and I'll do this strength 5x5 video here. If you're liking the podcast, please make sure you're following us on the platform that you're listening on, or if you're on YouTube, would really appreciate if you hit subscribe if you want to see more of these. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And again, any questions, hit them in the comment section. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. A little bit different this time. Got a camera here, might as well use it. Figured it out, plugged it in, and we'll start bringing out some videos. Still got a layout and like work on lighting maybe, and a little bit of a setup, and maybe like a tripod rather than some books. But we'll get there, and we'll also probably look at maybe doing a tip jar. If you guys are getting some value out of this, then you can give back, and we'll have a reason why the tip jar. I think a tip jar for a new mic could be nice. I don't really want to be having to hold this all the time, and I don't think it works that well. I guess that's what you get when you spend that kind of money on it. Not a lot, but it does work. So yeah, I'll probably be wanting to get a new mic. So I'm going to start putting away a bit of cash for that. And if you guys want to help out, more than welcome to send us a donation. When I end up getting around to it, it's obviously not like a major for me at the moment, but we'll get around to something like that. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.